Vlog 9. Vlog 9. Okay, I've decided today to talk about the institution of marriage. Yeah, do we need to be married? Do we need it? Do we need to be married? Is it important that we find a partner to be married to us? I think that all the religions in the world kind of teach us to get married to one person or three people. Some religions you can marry 3 or 4 people, but it's this institution where you marry these people, you marry this person or these many people, and you're with them for the rest of your life, in sickness and in health, until death do us part, and that sort of thing. I think this puts a lot of pressure on people to get married, and that's why there's a lot of unhappy marriages. If I look at my own marriage, I got married when I was 30. I was 30, yeah. And I married my wife because she fell pregnant with my son Shannon, and I just felt I needed to do the right thing. We didn't even know each other, and our marriage wasn't a happy marriage. We tried to make it work a few times, and then one day she just told me it's over. She had the guts and the balls to tell me it was finished. I would have still lived with her till forever, till we died. I would have found, I would have just stayed living with her as a married person, because I was in my comfort zone. I just couldn't face the fact of, like, all my friends knowing that we're not happy, her mom and my parents and that, all finding out that we just never were happy, and we getting divorced, and the fear of having to be a single person again in the world on my own without having somebody with me all this time, all that time was a big fear. But she realized it was over, and she realized she was young enough to start a new life, and it was the best thing that ever happened. It should have happened much earlier. I just accepted it because I knew it was the right thing, and so even though I've now had a turbulent life, it's been very difficult for me to adjust to being divorced and single and living without somebody with me all the time. It was the best thing that ever happened, without question, without doubt. Now that's what happened to me, and I'm sure it happens to a lot of people that are married. And I think we get this pressure that, especially women, because women bear children, so when they get to 40 or 50, they start to get worried. They need to, they don't want to have children out of wedlock, so they want to, have a child. And also the fear of ending up alone, of having nobody to spend your life with. And I think, even for men, I think this pressure that we need to find somebody. Okay, we need to find somebody, or we get to a certain age and we start to feel the pressure. You see it with younger people too today. They at 20 and they all like depressed because they can't find anybody, and it causes us to pick the wrong people. It does, because we start to settle. We start to look at people and think, I haven't got a lot of time, but I can live with those faults. Those faults don't look so bad now, and this is what makes them great. This, that, and the other, and yeah, let's get married. And especially when they're young, when you're young, because you change as you grow older. I'm not the same person when I was 15 or 18 or 20 or even 25. I'm definitely not that same person. So you change. So when I get, a friend of mine who's in New Zealand, I'm sure he's not happy married. I mean, I knew him for a long time, and I think he just stays with his wife. They felt the same way I felt in the marriage. They'll just, they'll live it out. They'll just accept it, because people stay married like this, even though they're unhappy and they knew it didn't work, because people don't want to walk. They don't walk around with signs on their head saying I'm a failure. People don't like to admit that they failed at something, failed at money or failed at marriage. So they give you this external smiley happiness. We're all loving, and behind the doors, it's a very unhappy relationship. So and that comes from the fact that we're now bonded. We can't. Everybody knows we're bonded, and we are together. And you're my only person, and I'm your only person. So the fact is, do we need to be married? I mean, it's not against the law not to marry, but do we need to be married? I mean, is it important to have this person that we need to, that will give us whatever we need till the day we die, because we don't want to end up lonely? And I think that this whole pressure of all this causes us to marry the wrong people, and causes us not to be relaxed when it comes to this whole, I wouldn't say finding the right person, but I think, do we need to have this right person? Do we need to try and settle, or do we need to find this person that's going to give us something that we don't have? Everybody feels it. I mean, I also, think to myself, I don't want to end up on my own. I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to. And this gives you this feeling. So I'd be interested to find out what people think about this. The institution of marriage. Can we just be friends with the opposite sex, or people that are we're sexually attracted to, and we want to be friendly? And can we just live our lives without being married to anybody? I know it's a scary thought. I know it's like it'll scare a lot of people. Like, oh God, I need to. I can't. What would people think? I'm a spinster or bachelor at 60 or 70 years old. What would people think? I mean, is it important? Is the institution of marriage important? Is it so important to have the right person? We don't need them. One thing, we don't need them for this. The sex part doesn't have to be with marriage. I mean, we all like to have sex, but we don't have to be in the marriage situation. It can be, you can have it out. You can have sex with people without being married to them. So that's taken care of. Yeah, so it's just a vlog I thought I'd bring up, and I'd be interested in finding out what people their ideas and what they think about this. So that's it. That's vlog 9. Tomorrow will be vlog 10. Cheers, bye bye.